Dust off, rest in peace, neighborhood nip. I ain't crip, but I'm on that neighborhood shoot. Building business, it's that black owned. If you hustle, better hustle till your pack gone. If you work, better work till your back hurt. And if you rap, make it better than your last verse. Yeah, more lyrics. Move Javante
AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, based over here.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
And we are back with another one, episode 225 of the 3-Man Weave podcast. Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Sorry, we a little bit late, but we wanted to make sure we got something to you for Super Wild Card weekend. And we had a lot of news, so we couldn't just let this news cycle go past. And you ain't hear from your 3 favorite guys, 2 here in the flesh, 1 here in spirit. Shout out to our guy Kenan. So I want to say, first off, thank you for joining the 3-Man Weave podcast. Make sure you check us on all major podcast platforms at 3-Man Weave. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter at 3manweave_. Email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Once again, that is podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com, just in case you ain't here the first time. And you can make sure you join us on Facebook in the Facebook group.
I'm here.
Yeah, and so that's here. I'm AJ. And you want to dive right in this thing? Did I miss something? How I do?
I got a logistical question though. You used 3-Man Weave at everybody already?
Yep, I sure did.
Can you use yours?
I already on the post.
Yeah. Did you use yours or use 3-Man Weave?
I use mine, and I like on the post, and I did both when I originally posted, and then just before we started. So we got some folks in here now.
All right, because I think I'm gonna use mine. But yeah, we in the building, man. He'll go ahead regardless, man. Let's get right into it, man. You already know we lost 3 of them. They say death come in 3s.
Yeah.
This was crazy though. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, shit, I ain't even peeped that. Damn.
Yeah.
Hey,
I know you did.
do you want to dive into these topics?
Yeah, there we go. Oh, man, shout out to our guy Reef. They are on the bye week this week. Can't ban the San Fran will be returning next week because they got the bye week this week. But let's get right into it, man. We lost 3 of them, man. They went in. I think we were surprised 2 out of the 3, I would say. For me.
Which ones were you surprised at?
I was surprised at Pete Carroll. I was surprised, but not shocked at Nick Saban.
I was actually surprised about Pete. I was definitely surprised at Pete. And I was actually, I know the rumblings were there, but I was actually more surprised about Bill Belichick than I was Saban, because I kind of understood that it was getting to that point. I mean, let's not forget remember at the SEC championship game, Kirby went to go talk to Saban. He was like, "How you doing?" He was like, "I'm tired."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know what that means. I know what that means, and I know how the shit that these college coaches go through. And one of the the guys that you and I both listen to, Bomani been saying this since last year. He was like, "Hey, y'all better enjoy Saban while you got him, because the run is coming to an end real soon." And so, like, you start peeping the science. It's like, hey, he old. It happens. So I was surprised at Bill, because I just felt like, yes, they were bad this year, but I felt like if you could have, said, "Okay, Bill, you really want to, make a change. You really want to give up some of this personnel control. Cool, let's do that." Because Bill's calling card was still his defense, and that defense actually still was one of the best in the league. He just can't do the other shit right about getting the offensive mind in there, getting, some of those people in there. And then to me, it's like getting a new coach is just like getting a quarterback. It's hard to do, man. So to me, the structure that they had and the things that they built in that building, I understand they kept Gerard Mayo in the building, but it's the same thing we've seen throughout Bill Belichick's career. Just because you coached under Bill Belichick and you are on his coaching tree, don't mean you are going to continue the Patriot way, because at the end of the day, you're not Bill Belichick. And so I feel bad for Gerard Mayo, because following a legend, man, is hard. And I think it's a little bit different because, there were some down years with Bill Belichick, leading up to this. Well, sometimes a lot of those legends, they leave and they kind of leave still on top, and they still have that legend luster on things. So, maybe kind of those expectations have kind of changed, and people aren't, expecting Gerard Mayo to come in here and, win 3 championships in 5 years or something like that, So we'll see. I think I said hopefully. I know that they're going to put those expectations on him, and he don't got the privilege to really get a whole bunch of extra time, especially in Boston.
He has the 1 year grace period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's gonna have a long 10 year, 24 years. I hopefully he does.
Right.
Hopefully he gets it done. I'm rooting for him as well. He is young, 37. He's been with like I say, he's been with Bill the entire time. He understands what Bill requires, wants. But at the same time, like I say, with him out the building, he maybe have the luxury to do the things that he wants to do. Like I say, they have been grooming him because he hasn't been. They haven't been allowed to go anywhere else. Like you say, he's been interviewed, and he's been a hot commodity recently, and people have been, like I say, been inquiring about his services, but he's been staying in place for a reason. So it's things that they can do differently. They have a high draft pick this year, so it's things like you say, it's hard to find a quarterback. Just like it's also hard to find a coach. They have an opportunity to get the ground running in the right, in the right direction.
Yeah.
Some things that I do believe that Bill can still coach. I'm not saying that the game has passed him by. He can't GM.
Right. That's why
he can't do that at all.
And that's why I say I was actually kind of shocked a little bit about Bill, because I felt like there were some opportunities to kind of allow it to happen. But I understand sometimes, you got to just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and make that happen and make that change. And I'm not saying, this one was just a complete shock. I'm just saying on the scale of these, I was actually shocked by the first two a little bit. I was shocked by Pete and Bill a little bit more than actually Nick, because I was actually kind of preparing, especially, with the way college football was going. It's a little bit different. And that, like, being Nick Saban, he was he's tired of recruiting his own players every year. He trying to go recruit the other players. He's not trying to recruit his own team and still do all that. So that's a lot. So that's why I was like, I could kind of see this coming.
But my thing about Nick Saban is, like I said, I kind of see, we seen the tea leaves there. But my thing, I would have thought that he would have positioned Alabama way better than what he did. Like, this is also, like I said, the transfer portal is still open as of now. Like you said, you could have did this a lot earlier. You could have told people a lot sooner, that so they can have a succession plan in place. Like, I would have thought that he would have did. I thought he would have did Bama a favor. You know what I'm saying? With the way he did it. Like, and I don't think he really did them any favors, because it seemed like it sprung up on everybody. It seemed like all of a sudden, like, I'm pretty sure that they knew behind the scenes, but it seemed like to the public, it seemed like it was just, oh my God, like, it was just.
But see, that's my thing.
It just happened Tuesday or whatever.
But see, that's my thing. I don't think he could have done anything else publicly. You get what I'm saying? I don't think, I think behind the scenes, if he told them, that's all that necessarily needed to happen. Because to me, if you tell them early, who knows, when the voting comes, like, oh, will his team be, focused on the college football playoffs? Will his team be focused on the SEC championship game? Is him, coming out saying that this is his last chance? Is it going to be a distraction? Is it going to be a motivator? All of this stuff. And it's going to be a media whirlwind of, around that program. And as we know, that ain't really Nick Saban's style anyway, having a whole bunch of just media,
Let me fix that. I'm not saying that he should have did that and have a farewell tour, but I'm saying, do you think that the Washington head coach that they just hired was their first choice? Matter of fact, let me ask you, who you think was their first choice?
Their first choice was probably Dan Lanning. But here's my thing: you can't say, like, even if he said, "Hey, I'm going to leave earlier," and he told them, they couldn't have went and got Dan Lanning earlier. So, because like even right after the Pac-10 championship, once again, they about to negotiate with Dan Lanning, and then once again, Alabama. Oh, reports are Dan Lanning is in contract negotiations with Alabama. This must be Nick Saban's last go around. They're not finna do that. And so my whole thing is, and even if they did, it's a possibility once again. Dan Lanning can do what he just did. Say, hey, I'm not leaving. Nick Saban saying this any earlier wouldn't have changed Dan Lanning's mind. And to me, having a succession plan, that means having somebody on staff. And wasn't nobody on these last couple of staffs anyway. With like that you feel comfortable stepping in for Nick Saban. How long ago was Lane Kiffin there? You know what I'm saying? And that was that might have been the one and only person that could do that, because they had Bill O'Brien there, and that stuff. And so there's nobody on this coaching staff that was going to do it. Especially a lot of those Bill Belichick disciples, they are in good places. Dan Lanning is at Oregon. Steve Sarkisian is at Texas. What motivation does Steve Sarkisian have to go to Alabama when he's already established at Texas? He was in the college football playoffs, and his team is going to the SEC with the players that he's brought in. He's got Quinn Ewers coming back and Arch Manning in the wing, who is dedicated to that position because he hasn't even transferred yet. So you got two quarterbacks, ready to, like, sitting there waiting, and you about to get SEC money, and basically, okay, Nick Saban is out the door. So basically, my whole thing is, what does he have to leave? I was talking to somebody, and I said I actually didn't think Kalen DeBoer would accept this job, because Kalen DeBoer didn't have the Southern ties, he didn't have the SEC ties and stuff like that, and so I was unsure like who they would be able to get if they couldn't get Kalen DeBoer, because to me that was the only big real name that was coming out. So I thought, honestly, someone like Mike Locksley, who has Alabama ties.
Where's he at?
He's at Maryland. Mike Locksley, he had this Alabama ties. He was under Nick Saban. He's a good recruiter. He kind of, was able to start bringing some players into Maryland, but he's, as we know, he's one of the, so he could come in, kind of do the Charlie Strong thing, keep, just hold it over. We know it's going to be tough. Get a little bit of winning in early, and then we get you out, kind of get that legend luster out of there and stuff like that. And so we could bring somebody back in, a bigger name, and they can be like, okay, we can get a retread, or we can get someone who's trying to, leave their place because they may have felt like, hey, I want to try and, take a step up and actually, do this, and that. So that's why I was shocked at Kalen DeBoer, because he's going to the Big Ten. They're about to get they're about to get that Big Ten money. Big Ten is the only other conference that can actually rival the SEC when it comes to money. And who knows? Jim Harbaugh is about to leave. People calling for Ryan Day's head, and it could have been Washington and Oregon's conference to really take over. So that's why I was shocked he took the job. But hey,
but I appreciate everything you educated me on. But to wait the way it's perceived or the way this thing happened, and I'm pretty sure that behind the scenes they knew way before it was actually announced. It seemed like once we found out, they found out, and it seemed like once they started the world, and then Bama. It's like when we found out, it was feeling like when Bama found out. And it seemed like when they started searching for coaches was the same time we started getting reports. As I'm saying, how it's perceived, because all of a sudden Dan Lanning, they're like, oh, we're gonna go after Dan Lanning, and then next thing you know, he makes this report. Like you say, even Mike Norvell had a little rumor out there. Like you say, Dabo was a lot of rumors of who was going to go after that, and it seemed like it just happened out of nowhere. And all I'm saying is, if you knew that you were going to leave, you was going to end your season, in your coaching career at Bama, I feel that you could have put Bama in a way better position than what you did.
So here's my thing. All I'm saying is, if he would have done it sooner, or whatever the case may be, and Dan Lanning says no, and Mike Norvell, he has his.
I think you're missing. I'm not saying publicly announce that you're retiring sooner. I'm saying what it looks like is what I'm saying. What it looks like, it seemed like he just told Bama, "I'm done." Tuesday, when we found out, it looked like they found out, and then the way they went over their head coaching search, it looked that way. Now I know that the truth is that it did not go down that way.
Even if it did go down that way, like what I'm saying is, I don't see no problem with how it went down. Like, and this is my point. This is like I'm saying what Deuce is saying. Him saying anything earlier would have, like, they were already calling this the worst team in the Saban tenure. So now the worst team in Saban's tenure somehow gets into the college football playoff. You can't just like go ahead and say, "Oh, I'm gonna retire after the SEC championship game" or something like that.
That's publicly. I get that if he said that publicly. But
no, I'm talking about even privately behind the scenes.
If he said it behind the scenes, I feel that they definitely could have had a head start on getting somebody a better coach. Because, like you said, you don't think that this was the best choice. Okay, Dan Lanning.
But my thing is,
okay, cool. That's it. No. It went from Dan Lanning to him. That's it.
But my thing is, Dan Lanning was what other options were there out? Like if Dan Lanning is your go-to guy, okay, fine.
What Bill O'Brien doing,
bro?
What? You act like he had a bad college career.
No, but
Haney from Bama.
But do we want Bill O'Brien, who
had a good offensive coordinator deal over there, and like you said, he understands the South because he coached there. He might have had a better chance of recruiting, like you said, with the Washington coach. I'm like, don't just dismiss it like it was just like I just said Mel Tucker or somebody. I said somebody that had some ties over there. Like you said, he might have had a better opportunity there. And he may be a better coach for Bama since he has some ties with Bama.
But here's my thing. I actually believe Kalen DeBoer can actually step up. To me, Kalen DeBoer is much better than Bill O'Brien because we've already seen what Bill O'Brien did at Penn State. And it was just okay. Like he was all right. Like it wasn't nothing to ride home about. And it's like, oh, he's just like somebody that could come in right away. And the reason why he was at Bama is because he flamed out everywhere else he was at. Nick Belichick. Nick Saban brought him in as one of his reclamation projects, same way he did with Lane Kiffin.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying, to me, Bill O'Brien is actually way, way down on the list. At least I see Kalen DeBoer come in and be an actual good coach because Kalen DeBoer went to the college football playoffs, one of the only teams to ever do it without a 5-star recruit. So that, to me, that shows, hey, you can actually coach. And he's actually recruited, and he can recruit. I just said he's gonna have some issues acquiescing into the South in that SEC. But once again, in today's day and age, that might not be a problem because guess what? It ain't just about, oh, I can get you to the league. It's about, hey, bro, I got $1 million for you in NIL. I got 900,000. I got 750,000. So it ain't just necessarily that because they got the want to.
And I get that, and I understand the job that he's done in Washington. Like you said, he definitely deserves this. And he may do a good job. I'm not dismissing it. I'm just saying, but based off perception, I want to make myself clear again because one thing I think Deuce is losing me as well. I'm not saying announce it to the players. I'm talking behind the scenes boosters and your AD, all the higher up. Those are the people that I'm saying keep it in private and let them know and have a better plan in place. I do not think that this was the plan, bro.
Here's what I'm saying to you, Hill, and like I want you to understand. Like, I'm not missing what you're saying. I'm saying if he I'm telling you, even if he told the AD behind closed doors and all of that stuff, this plan wouldn't have went no different. Okay, they wanted Dan Lanning, and Dan Lanning said no, because to me, because Dan Lanning understands, like, hey, I have an opportunity here at Oregon as well, so there's no need for me to change. And so to me, that's why I'm saying, even if he would have told them behind closed doors earlier, it changed absolutely nothing about the coaching search. If Dan Lanning was gonna say no yesterday, he was gonna say no 2 weeks ago.
And I respect it. Like I said, my point was the perception looked like this seemed like a rush job. They like, let's go through the drive-through, let's go get something to eat instead of cooking. That's all I'm saying. Now I owe you a shot because damn Lakers it's trash. So
it was ugly, so it should be too. God damn it.
Well, like this is our first time beating us through the season. Like, hey,
it was bad though. It was ugly.
Don't get beside yourself.
Ain't nobody get beside himself. Shit. Hey,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're only good as your last game.
Yeah, we was better than y'all the previous three.
Yeah, but who?
And that's what I was, and I appreciate y'all understanding what I was trying to get through, because it took me a while to get there. Like I said, college ain't my thing, and I understand that they could have lost everything. Like you said, could have went left, and they needed to get the playoffs to try to go off ride off in the sunset. They did everything that they could. Let's get to Pete Carroll before we move on.
Yeah.
And you said you were shocked.
I was shocked because just like he has been holding it together, because people they were just like, after Russ left, they were just kind of praising him for what he did with Geno Smith. And so I understand, it's a what have you done lately? What have you done lately league? But I felt like they were at least gonna, give him a couple chances, because what I will say is they've had some really good draft classes and they just had some misses. And then once again, you in that division with the juggernaut of the San Francisco 49ers. So I felt like they were going to kind of give you an extra, some chances, but he just couldn't figure it out on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that's where it hurt him.
No.
I mean, the defensive side of the ball.
There you go. The problem is the same thing has been happening since their last Super Bowl appearance. The same exact thing. And like I said, everybody thought they felt vindicated. They said, "Oh, it was Russ. We got rid of Russ. See, Russ wasn't the problem. It was this. Geno, they didn't write back. Everybody, y'all, all that was cool. Everything sounded good, right?" Mm-hmm. But last year, they had the same exact season that they had when they had Russ. Started out hot, get cold, back their way up in the playoffs, boom, losing the playoffs again. But everything was fine and dandy because they had Geno. Thought they overachieved because they had Geno. Okay, cool. There you go, Pete. We see you, Pete. We see you. Now, what happened this year? When expectations follow you, you know what I'm saying? When some people had them competing in the division with the 49ers. Never saying they was going to win, but they had to compete. Bare minimum, you should have been a playoff team. Now, what happened?
100%. 100%.
With the draft class that you had, with the draft haul that you got for Russell Wilson, with the cap relief that you got with giving up Russell Wilson and everything that you got going on, what did you do? See, it wasn't just about this year. It was about the fact that you haven't been doing anything since the last Super Bowl appearance. It's the same exact thing. You have ran your course, but the problem is we like Pete. You know what I'm saying? Pete fun. Pete the young. He got that youthful energy. Everything. We love Pete. Yeah, Pete cool. Pete cool. Take his shirt off. Pete playing quarterback at practice. Pete this, Pete that. We love Pete. So we don't want to keep it real with Pete. Pete, it's been time because your way has been getting stale. It's no different from Belichick. It's no different from any old 10-year coach. Sean Payton, when his in years at New Orleans Saints, it's all the same. And
course.
at this point, it was just time to move on. And I get it. He's like, yeah, I still wanted to coach. And yeah, I get it. You still want to coach. Not up in here. It's time to move on.
I get that. But what I'm also saying is I felt like, to me, sometimes I just think that some of these coaches, I understand sometimes like you want to, just as they treat, the organizations treat the players, you'll treat the coach the same way. So I'm not caping for Pete, but I do feel like there have been signs that Pete, that there could be a swing coming, because it's not like there's just been this drastic fall off. And I understand it's been a minute since their Super Bowls, but to me, once again, like I said, I believe they were in the playoffs last year. They just missed the playoffs this year. So I felt like, to me, it could have been another opportunity for Pete to, like next year, hey, you take your draft picks, you still have some of this haul. Like, what can you do, like, with this? Can you get back over this hump and continue to keep this team, you've plateaued, kind of at, just above 500, but can you take that next step and actually be a threat again in the NFC West?
Remember last year? Remember the Giants made the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that was supposed to be a rebuilding year. Brian Daboll coming in, making some changes and all. Supposed to be a rebuilding year, right?
Right.
Next thing you know, they overachieve. They make the playoffs. And next thing you know, it, people think that they were better than what they really were. Once again, you trade Russ. You get Geno. Bro, nobody but Cannon had faith in Geno. You know what I'm saying? Nobody but Cannon had faith in Geno. All of a sudden, he makes the Pro Bowl. He has an amazing year. Everybody loves Geno. They overachieve again, but they make the playoffs. So now you come into next year when you actually have expectations to at least make the playoffs. And what do? You false it. Like I said, that's the same thing you've been doing.
So here's my thing. All I'm saying is, yes, last year you overachieved. So like it's the same thing I did, like kind of like I do with a lot of teams where I say, like, your schedule, kind of where you're at. Last year they overachieved and went 9-8. This year would have been like, okay, can you have that winning record and be a fringe playoff team? They made it to the playoffs last year at 9-8. This year is just they didn't make it to the playoffs, but they were 9-8. So to me, you overachieved, and then now you actually where you are supposed to be at on that trajectory. That's why I say, could he have come in next year and really taken that next step? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they were wrong. I was just shocked to see if, like, okay, are they going to give him that opportunity to, like, I thought you could have given him that shot to take the next step.
Because you've been doing the same, like I'm not going to keep sounding like a broken record, but it's been the same thing since the Super Bowl. You've been doing the same thing. You can't find an offensive coordinator. You finally found one in Shane Walden, and then all of a sudden he was getting put into question this year when the offense was faltering. But then next thing you know it, you can't find a defensive coordinator to save your life. And on top of that, the defense is supposed to be your calling card. So you can't even fix the defense to save your life since the last Super Bowl run. So at some point, we can't keep giving you the benefit of the doubt. We gave you as much as we can based off your legacy, your lineage, and all that. But at some point, we got to move on, bro. And like say, and I get it. He may not have wanted to move on, but like, hey, listen, it's time to move on. And on top of that, and once we get to our predictions, matter of fact, it's not on the graphic, so we'll just stay on here. If I'm predicting that Dan Quinn's going to get that job, that's one of your proteges. He's been on your staff. He understands the Pete way, the Seahawk way. He should be able to do some of the things that you want to accomplish with your lineage. If you're still going to be with your tutelage, if you're still going to be in the front office helping him. And I said the wrong word.
No, I was just like blinking hard because you're good. You're good. No, you said the right word. My fault. I ain't mean to throw you off the game.
But I'm predicting that Dan Quinn is going to get that job. I think that's one of his jobs that he's been wanting. And like I said, if he's going to stay in the front office, I do believe that, you say he's going to be able to help him. Some of the things that he can, like the foundation that he has is not a bad foundation.
Yeah.
You know,
So
it just need to be tweaked a little bit. And I think that I think what Dan Quinn has learned throughout his time in Atlanta and his time in Dallas, he can adapt to what he's been, you know, in a new situation, which is going to be in Seattle.
And so this is why I was shocked. But when the shock wore off, this is why it made sense. Because the available coaches in this cycle, well, not available, but the coaches that are in this cycle that'll, you know, be up for coaching jobs, I think will actually be, you know, one of those things where it's like you want to get one of these names now. And Dan Quinn has the ties to Seattle, and I don't know how much longer he is going to be a coordinator. You get what I'm saying? And so to me, it just felt like shit. Dallas is already talking, like they already putting the pressure on Mike McCarthy. So let's go ahead and clear the space just in case. Let's go shoot our shot with Dan Quinn so we don't let Dallas Cowboys get him in the event that they get rid of Mike McCarthy. And in the event that he stays, we want to make sure that, okay, we get Dan Quinn now because we don't know how much longer he's willing to be a coordinator. And somebody else might get him. So let's go ahead and try and, you know, do it, like make this move now before it's too late. And also it works out perfect because someone that Dan Quinn has worked with could possibly come with him in Kellen Moore. He could build a staff with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's out there. It's a possibility somebody might give Kellen Moore a job, but in the event that somebody doesn't give Kellen Moore a job, he could bring him as his OC because Kellen Moore's still out there. So I think he's kind of like, they may see like, okay, it's a possibility that we can build this staff up right now.
I think that, like you said, the adjustment that he made from since leaving Seattle is, like I said, I think he's perfect for that job. And like you said, it's his time. I don't want to put this out in the air, like you say, you know, the universe. Yeah, right. But like I say, I don't want Dan Quinn to be the head coach in Dallas. If Mike McCarthy so happy if we happen to lose Sunday, blow this shit up if we lose. You know what I'm saying? To be quite honest, and I don't mean that in any harm, and I'm not going to go any further details because I don't even want to talk about it because we're not losing. But but yeah, but I do feel it's other coaches, like you said, it's other coaches other than Dan Quinn that could be qualified for the Seattle job, but I just feel that Dan Quinn is the best person for that job. Because they do have, like I said, they have everything in place. Like I said, they do have defensive pieces that he can come in and work with. Like I said, they have the offensive pieces.
I was say he going out there with Tariq Woolen and Spoon.
Yeah, you know, Mike Jackson, all the players. Like I said, the things that he want to do, the personnel that he wants.
He go out there, bring. Never mind. Let me. I won't do that just for you. I won't go into detail of who else he'll bring. But yeah.
What do you mean, like what? J. Ron Curtis, Jordan Armstrong, something like that?
No, I was saying and bring Al Harris out there as a defensive coordinator.
Nah, they ain't bringing Al Harris. Al Harris got way more closer ties than Mike McCarthy. I feel that he would stay. You know, I think they would stay as a coaching staff. But like I said, it makes more sense. The light is bright in Dallas for them to get more opportunities there and then to go to Seattle and waste away. Not waste away, but like you say, it'll just be Dan Quinn in them. Like,
all right. I mean, I get you. I'll just say, you know. Never know.
I mean, hey, to each his own. If he go, we go. Hey, all power to him, my brother. You know?
All right, so we got. Let's see who we got for. Did I forget somebody? No, I didn't.
Thank you.
All right, we got the Falcons. Who you got as the Atlanta Falcons' next head coach?
I got Mike Vrabel. Let me go ahead and address this. Why is it New England on the graphic? Because they've already hired Gerard Mayo, my brother. And on top of that, we didn't make the graphic. We got it from Fox NFL before the job became available. But Gerard Mayo's already got the job, so there's no need for them to be on the graphic. I do got Mike Vrabel. I know that they're in talks of possibly trying to get Laura Belichick down in Atlanta. I think that's a terrible fit. They don't have a culture issue in Atlanta. They just have a coaching issue. And I do believe that Vrabel, with the pieces that they have, I believe that he could stabilize what they've already had. Like, the foundation is good. They just need to, build off of it. I believe that he can build off what they've already set in place already. So I think that he's one of the best coaches available. He should not be available, but he is. And I do believe that if they give him the keys that he wants, like some of the things that he wants, I believe that he can, take them wherever they need to go. So that's why I got Mike Vrabel.
Okay. So for the Falcons, I got Mike, but I got a different Mike. I got Mike McDonald leaving the Ravens. Because you take Mike McDonald and what he's been able to do with that Baltimore Ravens defense. That Falcons defense was actually playing really good. Especially towards the end of this season. So he could go over there with Jesse Bates, the best safety in the NFL, like I've been saying for the past, 4 years. So you go out there, you have some pieces, and you're a defensive coach, and you've proven that your scheme can actually elevate, a defense as well. And then you go over there on offense and you walk in there with Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson, and all you have to do is try and find a quarterback. And I know saying all you have to do is a very hard thing, but when you can,
Reef here, so you get
all right. When all you have to do, there are going to be some quarterbacks that you can try and bring in, some veteran quarterbacks you could try and go after that can kind of be a placeholder, and then you can go after some, maybe a quarterback. It happens all the time. There are some quarterbacks that slide in the draft, or some people that quarterback that are, being overrated, and they just fall in the draft and end up being kind of right where you think that they're going to be. And so, like you said, hey, Russ coming to Atlanta, it's a possibility that, one of the things that I've said earlier on this season and in the offseason, if they go get Justin Fields, stuff like that, and it just all depends. And
I was thinking right when he said, I was thinking that.
Yep, you can bring CeCe home. Speaking you can even go get Bo Nix. Bo Nix, he's mobile. He has the arm talent and stuff, and he ain't afraid to throw it. So you can kind of do that. And like I said, you have weapons around them. They have some really solid pieces on the offensive line. They just have a coach issue. And so to me, this team has shown that they can compete without a good coach. You actually bring a coach in there that can do something, they could really be a problem. So
let's address this. I got so you guys aren't going to give John Gruden another shot. 2 emails with foul language, and he isn't forgiven. I definitely didn't. I didn't think he was a good coach to go back to Vegas to begin with. So and then
what did he prove while he was in Vegas to be like, oh, it was just the emails that got him fired? Yeah, it was maybe just the emails that got him fired because it was the Raiders, but he wouldn't have lasted long with any other team. Let's not forget him and Mike Mayock. They were a complete
terrible
joke.
Man. Yeah,
went up and drafted Cleveland Farrell, 5th overall. Got the draft picks. They was Damon Arnett and Henry Ruggs both was in jail. It was culture, everything, drafts, scheme, everything was bad. So to me, it's not just some emails with foul language. Yeah, that was fucked up. But it's the NFL. They don't care about that. They just got rid of him because it was optics, and they was like, hey, we gotta let you go right now, or they just gonna keep looking into everybody.
So what next?
He wasn't good.
Matter of fact, let's stay on the Raiders since we brought the Raiders. So you got going to the Raiders?
So for the Raiders, man, Antonio Pierce, don't do the Rich Bisaccia. Don't do the Rich Bisaccia thing again, man. This time you don't feel like you got to go. It ain't no Josh McDaniels. You got to feel like you got to go out and get Antonio Pierce, let him build a staff and let him do the things that's necessary. Let him try and go get a quarterback, and the team fuck with him. This is he if you want to bring back the Raiders mentality in Las Vegas, what you had when you was in Oakland, kind of that, that feeling, do it. You got a defensive guy who they ride for. He's changing the culture the same way it was with Rich Bisaccia. You felt like, oh, these guys actually care and they want to play for this guy. Bring in Antonio Pierce, man. Bring Antonio Pierce. Don't fuck it up. But it's
but it's the Raiders. And like I said, Rich Bisaccia, like I said, he did everything to get that job, to keep that job. And what they do, they went and go get Josh McDaniels. They didn't even think twice to go hire him. Like you said, Antonio Pierce did the same thing. You know, I mean, his record wasn't as well like at all. But like you said, let him get a chance to build a staff. Let him get a chance to do his thing. But I just don't trust Mark Davis to do that. Like I said, he's going to go big fish hunting. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
And I just feel, I think that's where Jim Harbaugh is going. I just think that's where he's going.
So Jim hold up that piece of paper to say, "Hey, Las Vegas, hire Pierce."
Was that real?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was real or not. Like, you know, I mean, if it's real, then cool. Whatever I just said, throw that away. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really think that was real. But yeah, we do know. And hire Antonio Pierce. That should be the guy. That should be the guy.
Yeah, it should be. And maybe I'm just giving the Raiders too much credit, but it's just like, hey man, do the shit, man. Do the shit, do it.
Who the next coach? I mean, who the next team?
Let's go ahead and do the Los Angeles Chargers. Who you got going?
I started to go first. I got Ben Johnson going there, man.
Okay.
I got Ben Johnson going there, and I think Ben Johnson is going to want a solidified quarterback. And out of all these teams that's available, the best quarterback on this team, that's available, is Justin Herbert. You seen what he did with Jared Goff. Like you said, he rehabbed Jared Goff because everybody thought Jared Goff was trash all of a sudden. And like I said, he had Jared Goff looking like a fringe top 10 quarterback yet again under the tutelage of Ben Johnson. I believe that you can go there and, you know, do your thing. Yeah. The thing is, it's going to be nasty the first year if you want it to be. Like you said, you can take a hit when it comes to the cap. Like you said, you can get rid of Mike Williams. You can let Khalil Mack walk. You can possibly trade Joey Bosa. Like you said, you can take some cap hit and actually restart it for a fresh start for this first year. But after that, you're going to be set up for the promised land, to be quite honest, because you have a quarterback, which most of the rest of these teams on this list are searching for. You have a quarterback, and that's one of the most important things that you need. Like I said, in getting your franchise together. Like I said, you already have one in place.
And the reason why I like that, and the reason why I'm going to go ahead and say the Chargers are going to go hire Harbaugh is because they have the quarterback in place. And that's kind of like one of the things that we've seen, Harbaugh, do when, in his time in the NFL, he's able to kind of work with that quarterback. And we've seen him work with Andrew Luck when he was at Stanford. We've seen him work, with Alex Smith and Kaepernick while he was, in San Francisco. And so having that quarterback in place, to me, is why I think Harbaugh is going to, be the next Chargers, head coach. And having that quarterback in place is going to allow him to be like, okay, let's go ahead and reset some of these other things, and let's make some of these other picks and fix these things. And I also think that he'll be able to kind of, once again, bring someone in who kind of knows some defense and fix whatever the hell is going on with that defense also.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the prime real estates when it comes to, coaching jobs. Like I said, I get it. The first year, it could be nasty if you want it to be, but if you can coach, hey, you can trick your way up into some wins and get the thing in the right direction. We've seen it happen.
Oh, 100%.
Like I said, we've seen rebuild years become playoff teams. So, like you said, we've seen it happen. Where we going next? You
want to go Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, let's go Tennessee. You go first with Tennessee.
All right. So I went back and forth with this one, man.
I did.
I'm going Bobby Slowick. Staying in the AFC South. He understands. Hey, look, the AFC South, it ain't no juggernaut. Everyone thought, Sunshine was gonna come in there and take it over and slam the door shut, but AFC South is showing that it's still open. We like what Shane Steichen is doing up in Indy with Anthony Richardson, but he kept getting hurt. He came in with Gardner Minshew, and they were doing some things, but this division still looks like it can be had. So I think Bobby Slowick, I think he'll go up to Tennessee, man. I think, especially after beating, playing the Titans. I think the Titans are going to be like, let's get this guy. Let's get this guy in. And then with Vrabel being a defensive guy, I think they're going to be hell-bent on getting the offensive guy in there. Who'd you go with?
I went with Frank Smith.
Okay. I like that.
I went with Frank Smith because I feel like, say, another, same tree. They coming for the same. Everybody's coming for this tree. Everybody wants this thing, same type of 49er Shanahan type of offense. The things that Miami was doing, I get it. The things that Miami is doing is only for Miami. But he didn't just come from Miami, like you say. So I think the stops that he had in place can kind of mold where he needs to get to and get, where he wants to get to with Tennessee. They offense have been horrendous since they were the number 1 seed. Since then, it's been on the downfall. So I'm pretty sure that whoever they hire is going to be some type of person on the offensive side. So I wouldn't be surprised if anybody that has some offensive background is going to be the coach. Rand came from the 49ers. So like you say, that philosophy, that offensive thing that he came from, that's why I think that's why you went with Bobby too as well, because they all came from that same umbrella. So I think you're gonna go with somebody he's familiar with. I just think that Frank, I had Bobby going somewhere else. That's why I didn't have it, but it's cool. I like the choice though. I think that I personally don't think that he's going to stay in the AFC South based off what he did. Like most of the time, people when they leave,
right.
They stay in the division because it's beef. Like, oh, you fired me, you let me go. Oh yeah, I'm going to the op. I don't think I'm just gonna take a job to be your competitor just like that. We've seen it in the past. We just haven't really seen it as recently.
Yeah, 100%.
I could be wrong.
I get it, and that's why I say those were the ones that I was going back and forth with, because it was just like I'm not sure, but it was like, okay, forget it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here because I think that I think it's gonna be slow because they feel like, hey, we don't want to get our ass kicked by this man again.
Well, let's go to Carolina, and I got Bobby Slowick going there. Now, the reason I have him going there is because of the success of C.J. Stroud. Okay, we drafted Bryce Young. Cool, we get it. We drafted Bryce Young, but we've seen the success of C.J. Stroud. We want that success that C.J. Stroud has with our guy. Who's responsible for that success? His offensive coordinator. So we about to do everything that we can possibly do to get Bryce right and put him in the same similar system that C.J. Stroud is in. That's my logic, and that's the only reason I got him going in.
I get that. So let me just preface what I'm about to say is I think that this is the worst job in the NFL right now.
By far.
And so when you have the worst job available, to me that only means
somebody black.
Mm-hmm. And they blocked his interview for a reason. Ejiro Evero, come on down. You have been promoted to the Panthers head coach.
Okay.
Because I believe that this is not a good job. And they're like, I don't know who else may hire Ejiro Evero as a head coach in this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so because he isn't fired, they can block anything that he does as a lateral move.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's like, hey, we can't find nobody who want this.
Mm-hmm.
We'll pay you instead of defensive coordinator money, we're gonna pay you head coach money. And good luck and try not to ruin, your stuff moving forward. So I think this is gonna be Ejiro Evero's job, man.
You actually did him a favor. You actually did them a favor. If
Why
he
you say
can
that?
actually, if they actually empower him to be a coach, because I do believe that he was on the fast track. If one of the defensive coordinators that was on the fast track to being a head coach, the way that his defenses perform.
Right.
So this is a good hire. I get it. This is a black hire that, hey, let's go ahead and get one of these job because it's trash. I get it. But it's also sometimes you mess up and actually it benefit.
You luck up and get the right naysayer.
Like, man, I done missed my exit. Oh, I didn't avoid the traffic. Oh,
yep.
So I'm good. Let's address this, but Panthers, you think Pete Carroll gets the call? He went to the Seahawks, which was a dumpster fire, just like the Panthers have been for the last few years. He could turn it around. The thing about this is the fact that David Tepper is one of the worst owners right now. He's performing as one of the worst owners right now in the league. The way that he meddles, the way that he wants to be at practices and give suggestions and do all the things that he wants to do that no owner really should be doing when it comes to football operation, is the fact that I don't think Pete Carroll wants this. Like I say, when Pete Carroll walks in the door, Pete Carroll gonna want to walk in with some credibility, like, hey, look, I'm Pete Carroll, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. The same way that Frank Wright wanted to come in there in the same way, and he wanted to operate. He was like, look, I'm Frank. I've been a coach before. I know what I'm doing. And they still was meddling in the business, being at practices, giving suggestions, telling him what to do, revoking play calling duty. They doing things that owners shouldn't do when it comes to football. So I don't think Pete wants to do this. Like I say, we got to remember, though, I get it. Pete acts young. Pete is the oldest coach in the league. Yeah. What he was the oldest coach in the league. Pete is old.
Yeah.
Pete old.
He's been doing this for a minute.
Like, I get it. The first part of the initial of I still want to coach. Yeah, I still want to coach.
That man gonna get a couple of he gonna get that summer off and be like, you know what? This shit ain't half bad. That's why it was funny when Kalen DeBoer got the job. A lot of like the Washington Huskies chats and message boards, they were saying Pete Carroll might be a candidate. Pete Carroll, for one, he ain't finna be recruiting anymore. And two, he ain't finna be NIL recruiting for damn sure. So I was like, yeah, I think Pete gonna kind of do this little front office thing, and then he gonna be next thing we know, we just gonna be like, damn, Pete Carroll not in the front office no more. What happened? That motherfucker gonna be in Thailand with Cliff Kingsbury.
I think Pete need to be on TV.
He definitely could be on TV. Go ahead, put him on Big Noon.
Out of stuff that we just seen on TV with some of these other people, like he he can't be no worse. No, he can't be no worse.
100%.
We missed this. Dion coming to Atlanta. He ready to do it. Yeah, that sounds good. He's not coming. He not coming.
Especially after the next season.
Oh man! So we got one last team, right?
They got the Commandos. Who you got?
I got Mike McDaniel going here.
Okay.
And that's why I laughed the first time you said it, when you said Atlanta, because it did make sense. It did make sense when you said that your logic was definitely perfect in regards to Atlanta. But I do think that stability, somebody that, young enough to build with what they want to do, but also stable enough to adapt and be innovative. To what he did with that Ravens defense, winning the Triple Crown. Come on now, that's amazing. I think that with the number 2 overall pick that they had, like I said, I think that they can use that. They can use that to get a quarterback. I think Sam Howell did a well of enough job to be used as trade bait to go get something for him. To use that to get more draft capital. They have cap space.
Tons of it.
So I think that they can, like I said, he can go ahead and build the team that he want to do. Like I say, Cannon always been asking for linebackers. They can go get Patrick Queen because he's a free agent based off the cap space that they have. It's things that they can do with Mike McDonald that I think that can set them up for what they want to do going forward.
Mm-hmm.
The floor is yours, my brother.
Exactly. And so basically every single point you made, I'll just use that for my coach. That's Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You have what? The number 2 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
What do we normally see when you are going to get that quarterback? You want to pair him with that offensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen Ben Johnson do things that work well for Jared Goff, who basically the Rams had to pay the Lions to take.
Yeah.
And then he came out there, it's like, oh, he getting these motherfuckers to the playoffs. So let's just say, for shits and gigs, you bring in Drake May. Even at worst, if he's Jared Goff, you got cheap Jared Goff. And you walking in there, with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and stuff like that. And then you can you got the money to bring in, offensive linemen. You got, draft capital to, bring in some offensive linemen. You have, like you said, Sam Howell, as trade bait because he proved to be serviceable. So to me, this comes in for Ben Johnson as the clock lines up. I can come in with my quarterback and I have the requisite pieces and capital to try and build this team up.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, this seems like this seems like the perfect landing spot for Ben Johnson, because it's like, okay, now I know that I can get my quarterback, someone I can work with and, be paired with from day one and tie myself to, and I can get my guy. I can, bring in the people that I want. And then ownership, they don't want to fail right now because they're new here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you can have them invested. They got a GM and all of that. So they're working. So if you could go in here, get your quarterback, use some of this money that you got. And remember, they traded Montez Sweat. Yes, Montez Sweat was hooping when he got to Chicago, but you got that draft. It's not like you just got just your picks. You got some other picks there too, that you and some really good picks that you can work on. And then your picks are the second in every round also. So it's like, you can really bring in some premium talent and infuse some talent into this roster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that's already there also, where it's like this kickstart and you could become a staple. And, say what you want. There have been some rumblings. What happens if Nick Sirianni loses his job? What I'm saying is this division might actually not be as tough as you would have thought it would be coming into this season, where you was like, okay, Cowboys is going to be tough. Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. Can the Giants take the next step type thing? Now it's like, well, shit. Cowboys, hey, yeah, they tough, but can we get Can we get a wild card? Can we finish second in this division, get a wild card? Can we finish, 10-8, 11-6? Because you get, like I said, you bring in Drake May, Terry McLaurin, the cupboard's not bare, and you can really bring in some new guys and infuse this team with some talent in many places, veteran and rookie.
Like I said, Ben Johnson is a top choice, for everybody. He's probably the number one. I guess behind Jim Harbaugh as well. I guess, but so that's a great choice. I just we're gonna see. Before we move on, he's so bad.
Right.
I got John Sugg that Eric Bieniemy should get he should get the Washington job.
How many years we've been saying he should have been getting jobs, man? Like,
it's so many years that we said it that the jobs that they passed up on him are open again.
Like,
of course he should be a consideration for the Atlanta job. Of course he should be a consideration for the Chargers job again. 2 jobs that passed him over again. Like the trap passed him over the first time. Like you said, the only job that really passed him over that benefited from passing him over was Houston by getting DeMeco Ryans. Like, we get it. We understand that he should have been a head coach by now, and like he still should be a head coach. I just don't see it. Like you said, maybe Carolina. Like you said, we looking for the black guy the token black guy to take the nasty job. Maybe that's the one. So we'll see. Y'all didn't mention Bill Belichick. We know he going after that all-time win record. You think waiting for the Vikings to fire the head coach job, or maybe what the Eagles would do? Now, you said that in the group, and I asked you, I didn't get a chance to see if you responded in the group. Why do you think the Vikings are firing Kevin O'Connell? Hell, he should be in consideration for coach of the
year. Bro, let's not forget, like, what he did. Like, Kirk Cousins went out, torn Achilles. Like, if Kirk Cousins didn't get hurt, that's a playoff team. Yeah, and they were damn near, because they were damn near fighting for Josh Dobbs and the dude from Utah State. What was his name?
Jaron Hall.
Like, they were in contention. Brian Flores had that defense actually doing pretty good. Kevin O'Connell's not going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep now. The thing to look for is, like I said, based off the rumors. Like I say, Nick Sirianni could get fired if they're gonna lose in the Super Wild Card game. I get that, and the Eagles probably would want to make a splash based off the roster that they had. I get that. That's a good rumor to hang your hat on. We'll see. My thing about Bill Belichick, I did preface my comments when I predicted the Falcons job that they were definitely looking for him. They go to the Falcons. And like you said, I personally would go with Mike Vrabel, but it's not saying it's looking like he may be going to Atlanta. Now I like this right here. This does make sense.
It does make sense. But to me, like I think what we both agreed on with those connections, especially if Pete Carroll was still in the building, to me, I think the first call goes to Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, yeah. He got to turn it down for me to go for Mike Vrabel, because at this point, like, what's the difference?
Damn, does that mean we got Mike? We both got Mike Vrabel. No, you have Mike Vrabel. Where'd you have Mike Vrabel going?
I had him going to Atlanta.
Okay, so that means I don't have Mike Vrabel going anywhere.
Yeah, I think, but okay, cool. Hey,
because I just don't
take a gap year. Go to ESPN and be on Get Up, be on First Take, resurrect your image, and you'll get hired next year. It's that simple.
And that's because to me, that's the same thing that's about to happen with Bill Belichick. That's why I didn't mention Bill Belichick, because it's just like, I don't.
Whoa, you really do believe you think that?
I just don't.
He's held in so much high regard. I think teams are. He may be high on the list. He may be higher on the list than what we're giving.
Right. I think he may be high on the list, but also I think because where he's high on the list for some of these teams, like where the teams that he's high on their list, I don't know if he's high on them. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So because he wants that record, I don't know if he's just gonna go anywhere. I think he's been around too long to just do that. Like, if if the Raiders, like, say the Raiders don't give the job to Antonio Pierce, and they want to make a splash and they call Bill Belichick, I don't think he's answering for the Raiders and it's like, okay, yeah, I'll go there.
But at the end of the day, somebody did say, like I said, he wants to get that record. Like I said, he's not getting any younger as well. So like I said, he can't take a year off.
But here's my thing: take a year off, or coach for the Raiders, because I'd rather take a year off than have a year taken off my life.
I don't think the year gonna be taking off his life. He's just gonna keep trying to pile up them wins until he get his record.
But what I'm saying,
they ain't gonna fire him.
What I'm saying is, you go to the Raiders, they like it's going to continue. Is the stuff is still going to continue. Oh, it was all Brady. He couldn't do it without Brady. This and that. Yes, he only needs 7 wins per season for 2 years to break it. But you go to the Raiders. Are we sure he gonna get 7 wins?
Hell, didn't Antonio Pierce get 4?
Yeah.
All right.
But that don't mean nothing.
So okay then, add 3 years then. So just add another year then.
Yeah,
like you said, and he could get 4. So come on.
But I feel like he don't just want to get the record by just scraping by. I think he wants to be in like, can I get a championship too? I think he wants to try that and see. So to me, it's like you gotta get one of those where you feel like you can have a quick flip.
How about to the Commanders or the Chargers book it? Like I said, we're gonna put the graphic out. We're gonna probably put it up Monday so everybody get to chime in. Come on, Dane. If Mike Tomlin leaves the Steelers and takes a year off, the Steelers will be a perfect fit for Mike Vrabel, it seems like. So Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. I think we gotta I think we keep falling into the trap, man. Like,
stop letting these Steelers fans, when they get emotional, tell you that Mike Tomlin need to go, because they only just gonna love him again once he goes 9-8, and they be like, oh yeah, another winning record. Like, it's okay. He's not going anywhere. They're just a little frustrated in the moment. Don't let him trick you. Don't let him trick you. He ain't going nowhere.
Like, that's the part that, like, yeah, it's frustrating. Like we say, we keep falling for it because it do sound good. It do sound good. Like, it sounds good, but like you say, once again, like, we gotta stop falling. They're not breaking up.
But my thing is, if you call it for Bill, like, if for all the people that were calling for Bill Belichick's head, to me, I don't see, like, if Bill Belichick can go, I don't see why Mike Tomlin can't go.
Because it's different franchises. Mike Tomlin not the issue. It's how they operate is the issue. Like you say. So I mean, I guess I may be talking on both sides of my head.
I would say because kind of wasn't that the same thing? Bill Belichick wasn't necessarily the issue. It was just how the operation was.
He was the operation.
But that's what I'm saying. So take the operation away from him. He can still coach. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe give the operation to Tomlin.
Hey, okay, do it, and let's see.
That what are we saying here?
To me, all I'm saying is, for someone, because for like a lot, like what I'm saying is, if we can't just act like it would just be completely just ridiculous for Bill Belichick to leave, Pete Carroll to leave, but then Mike Tomlin can stay. Even if you saying Mike Tomlin ain't necessarily the problem, Mike Tomlin also was the one who hired Matt Canada, who everyone wanted to go. That was his man's. Wasn't he loyal to him? And one of the reasons why he's like, everybody was like, oh, he's like, Canada got to go. And he stayed around too long. Isn't that a part of kind of like your job, like bringing on your guys? Mm-hmm. So to me, if we're talking about, oh, Pete Carroll, like, why are we surprised Pete Carroll, gone? Because ever since Pete Carroll won his Super Bowl, things have kind of been the same. Mike Tomlin ain't win his Super Bowl in how many years?
Yeah, I get
Mike
that.
Tomlin, ever since Ben Roethlisberger left, even though like I understand it wasn't that long ago. Mm-hmm. Like, okay,
but at the end of the day, he's still
the standard is the standard, right?
But he's still 20 years younger than them.
Okay, he's still 20 years younger than him, but he's been around damn near 20 years.
He has, he's still 20 years younger than them. So
right, so sometimes you just kind of got to move on, right? That's the same thing we said with Pete Carroll. Just because he got there, Pete and Bill got there later on in life, don't necessarily mean anything. All I'm saying is, if Bill Belichick can go after getting you 6 championships, and you got and you got one, and that was in your second season, and you've been there 15, 16 years. I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't be untouchable too. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, now
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying, like, let's not make it seem like he's untouchable.
And I got the rebuttal for that. The 24 years of Belichick were all different.
Of course.
Like, he did things different. Like, I spent money on the defense. Defense was lit. I went and got Randy Moss. I went to 2 tight ends. I did things that was different, like innovative things that were different in those times. We can look at those times of his tenure, of his 24 years of his time. He did things different. He changed the game. He did some things innovative. What Pete Carroll do?
No, answer
that.
Pete Carroll, he continued to do the same stuff that he did, but he didn't have the success because he couldn't get those late round all pros.
That's all I want. That's all I want. And I'm not mad at Pete, because I tell you this all the time. You're going to do what you did that got you a win. You're going to continue to do that.
Right.
It's time for Tomlin to do something different. And now I thought they was going to change their ways when they traded the first round pick to go get Minka Fitzpatrick. That was something different. They don't normally operate like that. Right. So now it's time to do something different. It's time to go get a different offensive coordinator, get somebody innovative. Hey, you had what was the old Dick LeBeau? You had Dick LeBeau the entire time, and then when you finally transitioned to Keith Butler, but Keith Butler was basically a protege of Dick LeBeau. He was like, hold on, we need something different. What did you do? You go get Terrell Austin, right? You finally figure out, like, okay, let's go get Terrell Austin. Cool, and you bring Brian Flores, cool. They can hang on your hat. The defense is your side. So now, when it comes to the offense, we got to get from the prehistoric era. So it's time to do something different, or it's time to make a trade. It's time to do something different. Now, does he have the autonomy to do that, or does he just have to be the company guy and do what they do, what they want him to do, or what they're accustomed to do? We really don't know the answer to that. We can blame them because, you're the head coach, and these are the coaches that you like, and that's part of coaching. If you can't compile a staff, that's a negative mark on your resume. So we get that, and we're gonna continue to get that. But at the end of the day, do you really have the autonomy to make the moves necessary to adapt in this era? We don't know the answer to that.
Isn't that it shouldn't? If you don't have the autonomy to do those things in year 17 with a team, to me, that's kind of concerning.
That's concerning if you don't have the autonomy. We don't know.
I'm saying
that is concerning. But what if these all his decisions 100%? Did we look at it differently?
That's my point. So to me, if they haven't given you the autonomy to make these things, like to make these changes, and you in year 17, to me, that's concerning, because why aren't you like this? The way that y'all been doing stuff ain't been working. Like, because in the last 6 years, like, we only had like one Steelers quality level season where we won 12 games, and then we got bounced out in the first round anyway. Outside of that, it's just been like squeaking by.
But
what I'm saying,
Pete Carroll, he had Russell Wilson the entire majority of his tenure.
Right. And so what I'm saying is, and with Mike Tomlin, for his tenure, he had Ben Roethlisberger. And then when it got to the end, that's when it was like, ooh, time to move on from Ben. Ben is holding us back. You get somebody else in there. Oh, shit. Man, Mr. Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, they holding us back. Hey, but we're still winning games, though. But once again, like I'm saying, if the standard is the standard, and it's just like with these other coaches who have these, like, who were like up there with like Belichick. Like I said, Belichick won you 6. He was there 24 years. Tomlin is young, but he's been there 17. And he's only got 1 to show for it. And that was in his second season. And he still had Bill Cowher players then. Like he had, like I think Bruce Arians, like that was Bill Cowher's staff too, damn near. So you had Bill Cowher's staff, Bill Cowher's players. Yes, you came through and you did your thing, and like you kept the consistency going. But in year 17, like that's it. If you the Steelers, like how can you be fine with that? The same way to me, you brought in one ring in your second year. Like I said, and that's why I say if Bill Belichick can be on the chopping block, why is Mike Tomlin so safe? Because Bill Belichick got 6. I don't care who he got it with. He got 6. You got 1 in 17.
Now I got a rebuttal for this, but I want to hear your rebuttal. How long Harbaugh been at the Ravens and how many rings he got to show for it if you're going that route?
To me, once again, like I said before, hey, Harbaugh been like, let me just make sure I get the actual years correct. John Harbaugh coaching record. So John Harbaugh has been with the Ravens for 16. He's been with the Ravens for 16. He got his in 2012. So once again, like I said, that bought him some time because that was damn near just a decade ago. And let's not forget, in what was it, 2018, he was about to get fired mid-season.
Yeah, Lamar.
He was about to get fired mid-season. Lamar came in, saved his job, and then the next year they went 14-2, and Lamar was an MVP. And so Lamar has saved this season because it was 11-5 that season, the following, and then Lamar got hurt 2021, and then they still were in there. So what I'm saying is John Harbaugh, he got bailed out because his was a little bit later. So within this decade, he's won. So he still kind of has that. And then he rebuilt the program because it was like, okay, you had Joe Flacco, you won your ring with Joe Flacco. And similar to with Ben Roethlisberger, when his Super Bowl winning quarterback was at the tail end of his career and was about to move on. I can't even say tail end because this motherfucker in the playoffs now. When he was at the tail end of his tenure with your team, you had a replacement that came in and reset things. So it saved your clock. Like I said, he was about to get fired. Had Kenny Pickett came in and won an MVP or something like that, nobody would be talking about Mike Tomlin. Like I wouldn't be talking about Mike Tomlin. And I'm sure the Steelers fans wouldn't be trying to say, oh, Mike Tomlin got to go mid-season, because guess what? You have an MVP caliber quarterback, and it's like, okay, it looks like something is, going to shake. That's what I'm saying.
Here's my thing. The difference between John Harbaugh has made he's adapted with the times. As far as like I say, when he let Wink Martindale go for nothing. Like nothing was wrong with the Ravens defense under Wink Martindale, and he just let him go for absolutely nothing. And then he made the right call. He let
Greg Roman go and got Todd Monken. Made the right call.
But think about
bringing Greg Roman in was the right call.
Hold on, Greg Roman wasn't even the guy before that. Like you said, he brought in a Marty Mortonway. He had a Gary Kubiak. Like he's had a numerous assistants. And like I said, they're not picking in the top 10 every year. They just like the Steelers. They operate pretty much just like the Steelers, just a more modernized way. So, like I said, a rebuttal is the fact that, like I said, he was about to get fired. Let's be honest. Lamar Jackson saved his job. Like,
yeah, 100%. But that's my point. Like,
that's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making when it comes to John Harbaugh is the fact that he's making changes. Like I said, he's going to go get Wink Martindale before whoever the defensive coordinator before Wink Martindale. He goes get Mike McDaniel. Like I said, he lets Wink Martindale go for no absolute reason. He goes get a Marty Mortonway. He goes get a Gary Kubiak. He goes get a Grant Roman. He goes get a Todd Monken to fix his offense. Like I said, he say, "Oh, this is the problem with my team. I'm going to do that." And on top of that, they're active in free agency. Mm-hmm. They're active in free agency and they draft well. So they do all the things that you want a front office to do. They do it very well. Very well. That's one of the differences when it's looked at it. I'm not saying who's better, who's not. All I'm saying is for Tomlin, but the thing that they need to do for the Steelers to get back for where they want to be, he got to switch something up. He got to switch his style up. That's all I'm saying. Just do something different.
Of course. And once again, I'm not calling for Mike Tomlin to be fired. I was just saying, when we said he not going nowhere, I was like, the way we just talked about Belichick and Pete Carroll, it shouldn't just be, oh, not so fast, Tomlin, like he's untouchable. That's all I'm saying.
Because of the streak, never having a losing season, which is impressive. It's impressive.
I mean, but once again, like I said, if the standard is the standard, not having a losing season shouldn't be the goal. That's all I'm saying.
You can tell the standard is not the standard the way the Steelers fan act towards awards. That's all they care about now.
Exactly. And to me, the standard ain't the standard if Tomlin didn't already had to get like the way that the players acting in the locker room, like Chase Claypool, Antonio Brown, Deontay Johnson quitting on plays, George Pickens quitting on plays until things go right. You get what I'm saying? To me, that's not like the standard being the standard. So once again, like those are the reasons why I'm saying, hey, how can, like I said, we just be so sure he should be safe versus some of like once again, like I said, Bill Belichick got you 6 and he wasn't safe.
But I think
that's all I'm saying.
I think straight to the point, I got Jalen and I got John. They were just addressing the logic that you made.
Of course, like I get that. I'm just saying,
and that's how I operate. The logic that you made, then a lot of people need to be put to the light. And I get it based on what you said. It's all about the logic. So I get. Let's move on. We got the all pro teams that have been announced. You know, here they go. Y'all can see it on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. It's on the screen. Is anybody stand out for you? Like okay, you got a question about what's going on, or what's up?
I actually don't hate it. Like, I don't mind it. Like, I like everyone. I can kind of make a case. I mean, Quincy Williams. I'm a little bit on that, but you know, Roquan.
First team. Quincy. Williams?
Like Quincy Williams, first team. I'm a little bit unsure about that one, but I can't argue with Roquan Smith because the moment he stepped in Baltimore, he legit changed. He changed what that entire defense was. He basically Baltimore was ready to get rid of Patrick Queen, and the next thing you know, you put Roquan Smith next to Patrick Queen, and it's like, damn, now he good too.
Now he about to get paid.
Exactly. Now he about to get paid. Antoine Winfield Jr., man, I'm happy to see him on this list. That boy balling.
Yeah.
And to me, Trent Williams, I think Trent Williams still need to be in that conversation for just best player in the NFL. Like, he's next level.
I got a question with Trent McDuffie. I thought L'Jarius Sneed was the better corner on the Chiefs.
He was, but I don't know. I don't know, because to me, L'Jarius Sneed was having a career year. Like, L'Jarius Sneed was playing like the best cornerback in the NFL.
Yeah, and they, like I said, he had the numbers to back it up as well. So I mean, Trent McDuffie, shouts out to him, because the defense been balling. He's been balling as well. I'm not knocking him, but like I said, over L'Jarius Sneed, maybe somebody can show me the numbers and we can see. But I'm not. It's too egregious. I get it. Lamar's gonna win the MVP. I get it. So I guess the MVP has to be first team. But like at some point, like what I thought the criteria at this point, obviously the stats matter, right?
Yes.
So if my quarterback, which is Dak Prescott, is on second team all pro, so I'm not about to get too mad. But Dak is on every top 5 quarterback
counting stats. Yeah.
Quarterback statistic.
Damn.
Top 5.
Hold on. Trent McDuffie. Well, I just was checking out PFF grades real quick. Trent McDuffie graded out at 82.9.
Oh, he out here.
Yeah. L'Jarius Sneed graded out at 71.1. So
all right,
Trent out here cooking. I mean, I know PFF ain't the only end all be all, but it was just a quick little check.
Quick little check. Like I said, so but I get it. Like I said, Lamar gonna win the MVP. Like I said, I'm not mad at it, but like I said, when it comes to the stats, Dak is in top 5 on every quarterback statistic. I guess except quarterback rushing.
And to me, that's actually why I thought Dak would be first. Like, I know it doesn't happen often, but to me, that's why I thought Dak might get first team All Pro because of the counting stats, the numbers that he's put up. And I thought Lamar Jackson would still get the MVP because of his value and the gravity that he creates on that Ravens offense, because the numbers may not look it like super crazy. They don't even look like his, previous MVP season. But what he causes and the stresses that he puts other defenses in, that's why I was like, okay, I have no issue with Lamar Jackson being MVP, because it's just one of those things where some of this shit is just not quantified within numbers, because the running game is so good because he got the ball in his hands, and that little half a second you gotta, set the edge on that zone read, and you can't just dive at the running back or at Lamar Jackson. And then on those play fakes or with him just staying in the pocket, you kind of got a little muddle rush. He holds the linebackers and all of that. So to me, like what he does for that offense and stuff, I was like, okay, I can see him being like, I have no issue. But I just thought with the counting stats that Dak was putting up, he would be offensive player of the year. But I'm glad to see he made second team, because I honestly don't think that there was another choice for second team if it wasn't going to be Dak on first team and you going with Lamar. There was no other quarterback to me that you could have put as second team All Pro.
I've seen some comments that AJ Brown should have got it over Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got any rebuttal for that?
So I get what they're saying, because pretty much like AJ Brown, he was damn near up there. Like he was going with Tyreek damn near with the numbers that he was putting up at one point in time. But I just think that with Amon-Ra, you can't take away what he did also. I think Amon-Ra had a really great season, and ultimately he ended up finishing with more yards and touchdowns than AJ Brown.
So that's what happened.
I just think that, once he did that, the numbers kind of showed like, hey, he had a better season.
Like I said, this is an all pro, the all season thing. Like I said, it's the AP. Did Kittle get it because of the team's record? Hawkinson would have been very close to getting that spot. He got injured.
Yeah.
So I think that ruined it. But I just searched it right there when you was talking. I was searching. I'm like, because I had Kittle on fantasy, bro. Like, I know fantasy ain't the end all be all, and I know real life is way better. Like, sometimes you got to differentiate real life and fantasy. But I thought of another tight end, like I say, Sam Laporta. I thought Sam Laporta had a better year. Like I say, TJ Hawkinson. Like I say, of course, Mark Andrews was doing his thing before he got injured. But at the end of the day, what Kittle does for this offense, like I say, sometimes it can't be with the stats. You can't just look at the stats when it comes to George Kittle. Like I say, the way he's blocking in this scheme, like I said, the things that he's doing in this scheme, like I say, what he does for this offense, like I say, he's definitely very important. He does his thing. So
yeah, but
I'm not mad.
I can't say that George Kittle had a bad year though.
I didn't say he had a bad year. I was just talking about because I lost in fantasy.
Okay, because like to me, if I'm not mistaken, we talk about numbers. Yeah, Hawkinson had more touchdowns, and I think even Sam Laporta had more touchdowns. But Kittle went over 1,000 yards. He made some very, very big plays, and so not only did he kind of break that threshold of going over that 1,000-yard mark, we also can't forget about what he does as a blocker. And so what he does as a blocker amongst being, along with being a receiving tight end and a threat, I think that to me, I don't think that it was just record. The numbers were there.
I think, like I said, the numbers were there.
The numbers were there for Kittle. And so I don't think that this was a snub. I don't think Hawkinson got, snubbed because, once again, he got hurt. Had he been able to finish the season, he might have went over 4,000 yards too, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Like
I said, Kittle did his thing. Like I said, I was speaking for fantasy purposes. Like I said, he had some weeks where he did nothing. And then he had some weeks where he, like you said, he 1 year fantasy league. You know what I'm saying? So it's a roller coaster. I'm only speaking for fantasy. That's how I speak. But like you said, when you break down the numbers as Reese speak, put it in the group chat. I mean, not in the group chat, in the chat. Like you said, he had 1,000 yards. Like you said, he's one of the best blockers. Like you said, so we can't, like you say, minimize what he does for his role in his team. Like you said, he got the eye test and he got the numbers to back it up. So, it's too early for Laporta. I get it. And like you said, TJ Hawkinson got hurt. So
I mean, and not to say that Laporta had Laporta put up I don't think he was out of the realm of possibilities, but I just think Kittle had the numbers. Like he got the numbers.
Got the numbers. He got the numbers.
It only makes sense. Yeah, let's see. I don't see any other things that I really got a problem with. I mean,
like I said, we already spoke on Quincy Williams. Like I said, I mean, I get it. Like you said, he had an amazing year. Like you said, I mean, he had a good year. But like first team, we can talk about it.
That's a little bit iffy. But outside of that, yeah, man, Kyle Hamilton hooping.
Yeah,
like I ain't got no issues.
Penei Sewell, Trent Williams, yeah, I ain't got no problem. I got absolutely no problem. Especially like you say, because most of the people that they have on here, the stats back it up.
Yeah, like at minimum, you can understand why.
Yeah. So,
all right. Shit, we had an hour 30. We
ain't got to pay for for promo this week. So
all right, bet. So let's see where we going next. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the picks. How you want to talk about?
Let's go to the picks, bro.
All right.
Cause we can talk about that when we get to the picks. Let's get
all
to
right. Super wild card weekend, man.
Before we get to the picks, I want to appreciate everybody that's here on their Friday night. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. And if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up for us, please.
Say this is very appreciated. Like I said, this is spur of the moment, like I said, but we had to go do our thing before Super Wild Card weekend starts tomorrow. But I definitely want to give a shout out before we get, everybody here on their Friday night. Hey, man, I'm in the hotel, like you say. So I got number time. Right. All right, let's get it. First game of the weekend.
Browns versus the Houston Texans.
All right.
This is actually one of those tough games to pick, but I'm going the Browns, man. I think that I like everything CJ Stroud doing. I like everything D'Amico Ryans and Bobby Slowick and that staff is doing. But I just think that this is going to be one of those matchups where it just gets tough. It just gets tough on CJ. He's gonna be under a lot of pressure in that secondary of Browns. They're gonna play some sticky defense. Pause if necessary.
Yeah. Reached it here. You got to.
All right. Yeah. So it's just like I think it's gonna be tough, and I wish I wish Tank Dell was there, but yeah, I think it's gonna be tough.
I don't know who I'm gonna pick. So it's really I've been going back and forth all week. Like I know that Browns defense is tough. I know it's tough. I know Flacco has been, been a revelation, and playoff Flacco is a real thing. But that was with the Ravens, and that was like 10 years ago. So
yeah.
I'm not sure that he can, can continue to do this. Like I said, he's going to give the other team, the Texans, opportunity to catch the ball because, like I said, he gonna throw up some what the fuck balls. Pause. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Texans, man.
Yeah, I forgot about the Denzel Ward kind of being injured and might miss this game.
I think it's just gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be ugly. I think it's gonna be, it's just gonna be ugly. It's gonna be a playoff game. It's gonna look like a playoff game. Like who's gonna make the next mistake? Because there's gonna be some mistakes, and who can capitalize off those mistakes. And I do believe, like I say, these other Browns, like I get it, they ain't got no pedigree. They ain't got no playoff pedigree.
They damn sure don't.
What? The Darius Smith?
I'm still gonna roll with the Browns because I think they can make it ugly. and they can they can make it ugly, and I think that benefits them. That's just the reason why I think Jim Schwartz gonna have them boys ready.
It's one of those games that, like you say, I ain't surprised at who the outcome.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be surprised either way, but I just think that I'm going with the Browns. All right, so next up we got the Miami Dolphins.
Peacock game.
The Peacock game. You got the Miami Dolphins going to that at 0-degree weather, and I have Peacock, and I might cancel my subscription just to not watch this game because it's gonna be so ugly. That's
the craziest thing ever. Like, first off, having a game on Peacock, a playoff game, and that having a game on Peacock is egregious. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, and on top of that, you put the best quarterback in the league on Peacock. Now, you didn't put the Browns and Texans on Peacock. You put Patrick Mahomes on Peacock. Like, come on, bro. They gonna get all the Swifties to get Peacock. So that might have been a strategic move to get that. But that's ridiculous.
Honestly, I think with the way the Kansas City Chiefs are playing, I honestly think that it was a bad move. To me, there were two better opportunities to actually maximize. What the fuck was that?
Every time you do that, bro, like
okay, it must be
whatever you do.
Two. Okay, all right. So it must be that. So there were two opportunities for the NFL to actually maximize people trying to watch Peacock, because you have two games with extremely large fan bases, and it's literally the very next day. You could have done the Steelers, Bills, or Green Bay Packers and the Cowboys, because to me, both of those games have two teams matching up with extremely large fan bases that won't miss that game. You get what I'm saying? So to me, they missed two opportunities. There we go. They missed two opportunities to actually maximize the paid subscription, because I'm sorry, like, I have Peacock, but just to if I didn't have Peacock, I would not pay to watch KC and Miami. And if I'm a fan, I'm just gonna go to the bar and watch this game, because I'm not gonna pay for that when, for one, if I'm Kansas City, my team don't even look like one of the teams that's like a Super Bowl threat. And if I'm the Dolphins, hey, Miami people ain't like you've been playing in Miami half the season, and now you got to go to 0.
That's their fault. They should have took that game more seriously against the Bills.
100%.
And Josh Allen was giving it to him. Like
100%. It was definitely theirs for the taking.
I don't blame nobody but themselves to go all the way to Kansas City in this cold ass weather. I got Kansas City winning this game though, because it's so damn cold and they from there. So
I got Kansas City winning, because I think this is gonna be one of those Isaiah Pacheco, I'm just gonna run angry for 25 times this game, and ain't nobody gonna want to tackle me.
No, absolutely not. So we got the Bills and the Steelers. The biggest upset of the world could happen if the Steelers win against the Bills. Oh, man. Yeah.
Buffalo.
It's supposed to be snow there as well. Which is funny, because I still remember when the last playoff game when y'all played them in the playoffs, and they complained about the weather. And I do think that the snow plays a factor, but it benefits the Steelers, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does. It benefits the Steelers, but I also think that this is just going to be one of those games where we might get good Josh Allen. He threw it away. He threw it away last week and was trying to give it away. I think maybe this week he lock in and be like, "Hey, I can't really do that shit no more."
Okay, but I'm going to be quite honest. If it's snow and the weather's ugly, Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers win this game because it's already ugly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I said, they already play ugly. So this is they're going to have the advantage. Like I said, they're going to be able to run the ball. Like I said, they already don't really throw well anyway. So if the weather's bad, they could win.
Hey,
they gonna give him up.
Hey, he'll think I hate Josh Allen. I'm giving him props. I said because this is what I've been saying, and it was like, oh, Josh Allen, he don't even be doing the bad turnovers no more. And then
who said that?
You last year. Oh, you just hate Josh Allen. You just hate Josh Allen. He ain't doing that no more, is he? He ain't doing that no more. We don't see that no more. Yes, the fuck we do. Shit ain't never left. That shit.
Pull the tape. Pull the tape.
INT is in his DNA.
Pull the tape.
Okay. You know I will. You know I will.
You know where to find me, but you do hate Josh Allen.
No, I don't. Just because so the truth is hate.
Some of it.
Okay, but it's true.
Some of it. You said it with last year. We said I said it.
That's the one thing. So sometimes with the delay of they be on a tape delay, so we don't know necessarily what he's talking about. So maybe he talking about you because I know this Josh Allen. Hey, if we get good Josh Allen,
like I said, I definitely came to his defense. I know I came to his defense because of your hate. Because like I said, I was like you said,
it's not hate.
He
was just on a good run.
He was on the elite.
It was still in his DNA. All right, next up, we got the Green Bay Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL Films Classic. I'll go first.
Yeah, I know you don't want me to go first.
I'll go first. I am going with the Dallas Cowboys. I do feel like, hey, Dak turned up on motherfuckers this year. This is the Dak that, quite honestly, the Dak that we've always got to like we said last year was that was the outlier, regardless of what people say and the media and all that. Actually, last year was the outlier, and I think Dak is going to continue to do the things that he's been doing and be aggressive. CD has stepped up and shown that he is one of them ones. I do want to say, hey, Jordan Love quietly put together a really good fucking season. And to me, the Green Bay Packers are in good hands. He put together a really great fucking season. LaFleur showed that, hey, he can actually coach. And so I think that this team is on the right trajectory. And to me, I think that they're going to have some staying power. I just think that, right now, the Cowboys I think they might just be a little bit too much this week for the Green Bay Packers. And so running into the Cowboys in this Super Wild Card weekend with the Cowboys at home, where that defense plays different, it's going to be tough on Green Bay. So I got to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, based off some of the games that we've had recently with Green Bay, I know Aaron Rodgers have been a part of them, but they still get you that little, you get worried going against Green Bay. But I think that we're going to handle business, and I think we're going to win the game. Like I said, Jordan Love is definitely he figured it out. Like you say, playing within the offense, Matt LaFleur definitely got the boys rolling. This young team, but they are young. They're the youngest team pretty much in the league. Other than Aaron Jones on this team, they got his playoff experience on the offense. I just think that, like I said, we are a totally different team at home. I think we're gonna handle business, and I think we're just gonna win the game. I do not care what the score is. I just want to win the game. But before we end, what do you mean by we getting playoff deck? Like, Check his numbers. That performs well in the playoffs. Like you said. Oh, of course, he just loses to the 49ers. Okay, cool. Like you said, he lost to the 49ers. But the first year he played good against 49ers. Okay, we lost to the 49ers. Now all of a sudden it's playoff that. Come on now.
Yeah.
Get it together. Check his stats.
All right. Next up, my fault. You good?
I'm great.
Okay. The Los Angeles Rams versus the Detroit Lions.
You know what's crazy? I don't even want to pick this game. I just want to respond to this game, and I want to say why. Because I want to say if the Lions go out here and just beat the Rams, then what? Like, then fucking what? Like all of this, like, you know, everybody's so scared to play the Rams, and the Rams is tough. The Rams is so tough, the scariest team in the league. Nobody want to play the Rams, and the Rams is this and the Rams is that. Oh my God, the Rams pushed the Ravens into overtime. They almost beat the Ravens. Then they almost lost to the Giants. Like, I get it. Like,
and let's not forget, Ravens could have damn near been undefeated. They lost games that what the fuck? Like, what were they doing?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Don't take this disdain that I had from the media as the Rams. First off, the Rams are playing with house money. So that's a dangerous team at that. And you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback as well as Matt Stafford, Super Bowl winning coach, and Sean McVay. Like I say, they definitely are a tough team to play. Don't get it twisted. And on top of that, they are playing with house money. This is supposed to be a rebuild year, right? They ain't supposed to be here yet, right?
What? 2024.
Oh, since we're talking about the Rams, a team that went for it, I thought they was in purgatory. I thought once you go for it, all of a sudden, this is what you deal with.
But the thing that they did is the one thing that I say teams need to do. Get them lottery tickets. They didn't have a first round pick. I think they didn't have a second round pick, but they had like 37 day 3 picks. And some of those players, the motherfuckers actually they hit.
Oh, you mean do your damn job?
Yep. What the front office should do.
Okay. Do your damn job. I mean, shouts out to Sean McVay, and the Sean McVay wins Coach of the Year is well deserved. Like I said, shouts out to Matt Stafford. Like I said, but my thing is, y'all told me, and I'm talking about everybody else. When you go for it, all after them picks and all of that, all of a sudden you're in purgatory. Do you want to be in purgatory? But what if they would have did this last year? I mean, everybody got injured last year, right? Other than Jalen Ramsey, right?
Yep.
Cooper Kupp was injured. Matt Stafford was injured. I think Aaron Donald was injured, right?
Yep.
So everybody of significance was injured. So what if they could have did this last year? Because this damn sure the same roster. I mean, other than Puka and Kyron Williams.
And not the rookies.
I mean, and some other Byron Young and some
Byron Young. Yeah, I won't say it's the same roster because they got some. They have some really nice rookies.
Because they hit on their draft class. So like you said, you did your job. But all I'm saying is, I'm just saying, they told me, going for it was just, don't do it. Oh, the salary cap, there's salary cap hell and all that. Oh, okay, cool. But back to what this game, I got Detroit because Detroit is at home. I think Detroit matches up well with them. I think they can handle what the Rams want to do. I know their defense, as far as their secondary, is terrible, but their run defense is for real. That's the catalyst of this Rams team. I know everybody loves Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Matt Stafford, but when Kyron Williams is clicking, this whole team is clicking. And if they can stop the run, Matt Stafford will give you one.
Say it every time. I really, really, really want to pick the Rams for this one, especially with Sam Laporta, battling his injury and stuff like that. But I need and want to see the Rams go home. That's all. So I'm going Detroit.
Why? Why you want to see the Rams go home?
Fuck the Rams, man.
Oh, yeah, my fault. But yeah,
it wasn't no pass.
They ain't got the Rams. John got the Rams. And yeah, you definitely ruffled my feathers, but it's okay, John. I'm gonna holler at you when I need to see you. Don't worry about I'm receipt game.
All right, so the Monday nighter.
You know what? Maybe this is my natural instinct. It's just once I see some things and I may have to just go with the opposite. Now, all of a sudden, Nick Sirianni he's just terrible, right? He just can't coach at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Building
Okay,
that
cool.
narrative.
Now he's gonna fire his ass and go get Bill Belichick, right? That's what they gonna do. So it's like all of a sudden, mind you, they played this team earlier this year. I know it was early in the season, cool. But once again, just last week, didn't the Bucks have to win last week?
Mm-hmm.
And you had to go kick 3 field goals just to beat the Panthers?
The Panthers, dog.
Now, all of a sudden, I get it. The Eagles' defense is just so trash. They just so trash. They can't stop a nosebleed. They just can't do nothing. Now, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? This team that scored 9 points to get the Panthers just gonna blow out the Eagles. I'm reluctantly picking the Eagles because, of course, I definitely want the Bucks to win by any means, but I just don't see it. Money line, he for sure picking the Bucks.
I'm actually gonna pick the Bucks too, man. And as much as Rams beating the Lions coaching, I mean,
Dan Campbell made.
Yeah, Dan Campbell he made, but I think we can't yes, those are just like some crunch time, but I think coaching like in the the midst of the game, their play calling is good and stuff like that too. So I don't feel like it's gonna be that big of a difference. But yeah, I'm going with the Bucks just because I feel like sometimes when you play a team, twice in a season, sometimes there are going to be those adjustments made. And I think, hey, almost losing to the Carolina Panthers should wake you the fuck up. It should. So I think that, I think they should make some adjustments. I actually think this is going to be a big Mike Evans game. So I think Mike Evans is going to do work.
Take the over.
I think Mike Evans is going to do work. So I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Yeah, let me say the same thing. Now I'm saying if AJ Brown ain't playing, of course I'm not picking the Eagles. Like I said, Devontae Smith already hurt too. Like I said, and Jalen Hurts has regressed, so totally different. But like I said, let me go ahead and preface myself with that. Like I said, if AJ Brown play, I got the Eagles. If he don't play, I got the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Mike Evans, everything. Hunted everything. Whatever his fan duel over is, just over. I'm telling you, whatever. On another note, they got to stop these Monday night playoff games. I'm sorry.
I hate it.
They got to stop. Like I get it. I know you want ESPN to get a game for money purposes. Cool. Hey, 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, bro. Like, hey, and pick one of them games broadcast on ESPN. Let's figure it out. But like, come on now. Like, let's not give a team a short week, going into the next week, possibly playing a team off a bye week. Like, they're like at some point, like we got to even out the playing field when it comes to the playoffs. Like, come on now. Like, money shouldn't always be the answer, bro. Like, come on now.
And that's my thing. Like, it really just comes to, like I said, like you said, a short week, because now it's like, okay, so we just played on Monday, and then now we got to come back, play on Sunday, maybe Saturday. Like, let's hope not. But pretty much, especially out of Monday night game, we not getting back till Tuesday morning. You could you're literally you're cutting all of our stuff short. So yeah, no Monday night game is necessary. But they wanted to do Super Wild Card. But to me, if it's going to be Super Wild Card weekend, keep it on the weekend.
Like I said, we cool with the Super Wild Card. We cool with all that, the extra game and all that. We cool with that. All we saying is get rid of the Monday night game. Like I said,
because you
put
you
an
have a
NBA play.
you have a 1 o'clock slot open on Saturday. Ain't
Yeah.
no college football no more. Like
Nope.
use your 1 o'clock Saturday slate.
But I mean, hey man, like you say, it is what it is. Like I said, it's a disadvantage for whoever wins that game. But like I said, I definitely hope the Bucks do their thing. Come on, man. Fire the cannons, man.
That's good.
Do what we gotta do. Hey man, like I said, I get it. I appreciate everybody tuning in on the Friday night. Like you say, hit the like, share, subscribe button. Also, if you can catch it on the playback, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We're cool. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. We're on all social media platforms, 3manweave_. We also in the Facebook group, 3Man Weave group. Man, we here, man. I mean, we out.
Of course, we out.